Hey, you doing, guys? And yet I'm back for a third topic today, this Sunday, just because I found this very interesting news article and a topic I actually wanted to talk about before, but some other things got in the way. And this has to do with VR or virtual reality. And this actually comes from a Red News article, and I'll also link it in the comments section as well. And this is kind of my thoughts of virtual reality as well. And I did have a chance of seeing virtual reality back in the around the 80s time frame. It cost me $7 to actually try out their VR, and I wouldn't say I was thoroughly impressed. Of course, now this is all the way into the 2017. Technology has changed a whole lot, and I seen a lot of hype last year, all through 2016. Virtual reality is going to be the next big thing, and all that. I kind of viewed it differently. I said it was going to be very niche, mostly for gamers. Yes, perhaps very niche use in business, perhaps as far as medical use, engineering, or something like that. But I didn't see it as being widespread. And this article kind of goes into that as well. Well, actually, even before I looked at this article, I even seen some other articles kind of pointing to this as well. And this is actually, I think, Phil Rhodes, who's at the NAB convention, which is National Association of Broadcasters. And he was getting the sense that VR hasn't moved to the next big thing. And even mentions if it's going to the way of 3D, which I'm also going to talk about. And I really did see a lot of hype last year about, the HoloLens from Microsoft, the VR gear, and so on. And of course, VR constantly pops up every 10 years or so. And I see it more like 3D. It's going to be very niche. Not everybody's going to use it. It's expensive, and I could go on and on. I don't think VR is really ready, even if it's coming out. And this is one of the biggest indicators of anything that's going to be adopted. Is, like I said, there was hype all last year with VR, virtual reality. And then usually you can tell right around Christmas time when a lot of these things come out. But the really telling sign is the year after. I'm talking anywhere from January to March time frame. And do you hear anything about it then? And it was pretty much crickets and tumbleweeds. I couldn't find anything about it within the tech community. The very few that I have noticed mentioned that kind of the opposite, or what I've been saying, that it's not going to be picked up this year. So and then of course with this article as well, it kind of substantiates that. I'm not saying there's never going to be virtual reality, HDR content. In fact, I think we're going to probably see more HDR content than VR. Now we may say some things like augmented reality, which is might be more better suited for the average consumer. We'll see. And I also seen seen the same thing with a lot of other products. There's a big hype over the Google Chromebook, I believe. They're saying, "Oh, this is the next new thing with you know netbooks and so on." I don't know if it was a Google Pixel or it was thrown in there. And then, of course, the same thing happened. Christmas time came into next year, and then Bazawi couldn't hear nothing, you know, from the tech news or anything else. Consumers, usually you're going to hear, if something gets adopted widely, you're going to hear it in the tech news because a lot of consumers and people are going to be buying this, and then obviously the the tech news is going to see that and pick it up right away. Um, and like I said before, I do see virtual reality pop its head out every so often, every usually 7 to 10 years. I think even Nintendo came out with a some kind of a 3D Game Boy thing, which never took off. Of course, it wasn't the greatest implementation. I think we've seen a little bit with Microsoft Kinect. I know it's not exactly the same thing. So, like I said, I'm seeing it maybe going toward what 3D is. I know in the past 3D has been really hit hard in the to the consumer. They were coming out with 3D camcorders, 3D televisions, 3D glasses, and all that. But for consumers, it wasn't really what they were looking for per se. They didn't want to wear glasses. People like me, I wear glasses. I don't want to wear glasses over glasses and other things. So give me your thoughts on virtual reality. Is it going to be the next new thing eventually, or you think it's just going to fade into the limelight in the way of 3D? And this kind of news article is kind of showing what I already, you know, envisioned with virtual reality. Of course, I've been wrong before, but like I said, I don't think we're still going to see it for a number of years yet. Perhaps 3 years. I don't know. We'll see. Give me your thoughts. Thanks.